Shaken yet standing firm. This is Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies. Call them at 949-6211. Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Digicel Business. Get everything your business needs in one package with Digicel Business Hub.
And now, Radio Cayman presents The Business Buzz, an insightful and fresh take on a variety of issues that impact the local business environment. This is where we address the business topics that matter. Radio Cayman's Business Buzz. Here's your host, Anita Khan.
It's now 18 minutes after 8 o'clock. Good morning. Welcome to the Business Buzz. And this morning, as you've seen, we only have one segment. And before we get into it, I want to welcome back our producer, Susan Watson. Good morning, Susan.
Good morning, Anita.
It's great to have you back.
Thank you, thank you.
It has been a male-dominated studio, so it's good to see our only female announcer back in the studio. I'm sure the guys are happy to be sleeping in this morning, Susan.
So I've been told.
But it's good to have you back.
Thank you so much.
And it's Radio Cayman is never the same without you.
I appreciate that.
So you know. Okay, and this morning we're going to put the spotlight on the National Gallery of the Cayman Islands, NGCI. They've launched an art and wellness segment at the gallery. It's a free summer program, but tell you what, we'll have their director tell us all about it. Good morning, Natalie.
Good morning. Great to be here as always. And I agree that it's nice to have Susan back in the seat.
I know.
So when she's not on air.
I know. The guys, they don't pay me any attention. So I'm glad to have Susan back. She'll say, Anita, you're off mic, whatever. She'll keep me on my toes.
She keeps things organized.
Very organized, very organized. So if you're just joining us, it's Mrs. Natalie Urquhart. Natalie is a director at the National Gallery of the Cayman Islands. Now, Natalie, this month, May month, are we Mental Health Month?
Mental Health and Mental Awareness Month, and we're calling it Mindful May. And we thought that this would be a fantastic chance to launch our new art and wellness program. And we have, let's switch the mics. Mm-hmm. Got it. Thank you. So it's Mindful May, we're calling it, and we felt that this would be a great time to formally launch our new art and wellness program. We've done a few weeks of a soft launch to kind of get comfortable, working with a lot of different wellness providers, but it's a great chance also to raise awareness around mental health and wellness throughout May, and then of course throughout the rest of the year.
Now, so how long would the art and wellness programs run for the gallery?
Well, we had a great chance.
And what time? Sorry. And what times?
Well, it's a multifunctional program. So there's you're going to have to listen hard and get a pen and paper out to get all of the times down. But of course, you can jump on the gallery website on our What's On section. Everything is listed there as well. We are officially launching in May to honour this Mental Health Month. But of course, you know, we're all still grappling with the effects of the pandemic. We've lived through the most remarkably challenging year, which has also provided a lot of innovation and the coming together of community and, you know, really seeing Cayman kind at its very best. And we felt that we're an art museum, of course. People might wonder why an art museum is doing yoga, but museums have
I wondered at first, but I got it eventually.
Well, I think, you know, museums have really evolved over the last 20 years from being these places that were predominantly charged with caring for collections and making sure that they didn't get damaged for the future. But also now, you know, making sure those are accessible to the public, that people feel welcome in the space, and that we can use our venues as sort of community centres as opposed to just safeguarding treasures. So we've been working hard at the gallery for many years to look at different ways that the community can come and engage in the site, to learn about local art, to celebrate our national heritage. But of course, we have beautiful gardens. The galleries themselves are full of artwork, so they make great backdrops for meditation and mindfulness and yoga. And we really wanted to be responsive in the moment to thinking about how we could provide a service to the community that is free for everybody around wellness in this time.
Now, how can members of the community sign up? Is it free? Absolutely free?
It is absolutely free. Okay. We are very committed at the gallery to work with multiple community partners and, of course, the Cayman Islands government to make sure that there are no barriers to access. So if you want to come to the gallery itself and just see the artwork, that is always free. There's no entry fee at the gallery ever. And then, of course, this program, we've worked with many supporters. We actually launched it at a fundraising event, a 380 women strong fundraising event in May. And actually, it was those 380 women that helped put funds together to support the program. So going forward for the rest of the year, this program will be free for the whole community. And as I mentioned, it involves multiple components, which we can talk about individually, but all of those are accessible and free of charge. You just need to call the gallery to register if it's going to be one of our workshops. But if you want to come and use the labyrinth or come and sit in the gardens, come and have a picnic with your family, or maybe just have a break from work at lunchtime, of course, you don't need to register for any of that. That's just accessible to the public.
Oh, I can just leave here now and go walk in the gardens. Susan? Okay. Natalie, let's start with Mindful Mondays. How does that work?
So we felt, sometimes at the beginning of the week, we need a bit of a transition from the weekend. We've been able to relax. But
most times you want to stay home and take another day.
Fortunately, I have a job I love. So I'm like, yes, it's about the art. I'm going to go to the office today. But, we wanted to make sure that you were able to come into the gallery spaces. Of course, we have the National Collection upstairs. And right now, that's a beautiful exhibition that looks at the evolving relationship that we've had with the ocean for our history, starting with our maritime heritage and going through to sustainability and the environment today. But often our space is filled with school tours and children and families, so it can be a little bit hectic, and sometimes you can't view the art in that sort of mindful way. So the idea behind Mindful Mondays is that we open an hour early, so 9 a.m. on Mondays, and inviting the public to come down. We've put out more seating in the gallery, so you can grab your own movable chair. You can take it with you and just sit it down in front of your favorite artwork and just sit down and enjoy it. So rather than having to walk past or, rush past, there's a beautiful image that we're using to promote this component with Carl Brown, who is no stranger to Radio Cayman. He's a board member of the National Gallery, and he's sitting down in front of a stunning Brendel Hydes painting.
Oh, that's Carl?
That's Carl.
Oh.
Carl was our model. Thank you, Carl. And of course, we forget sometimes that actually these artworks are for contemplation, and that they really help us to engage emotionally, to sort of sit back and process. And sometimes we need those quiet times.
So I have my own chair.
You have your own chair.
And I can sit there and just... Do I have to come back to work after that?
Well, that's entirely up to you. I won't comment for Radio Cayman, but...
I wouldn't want to come back to work that way. I'll just sit there all day.
We can give you a coffee at the end of the hour to help you kind of get back into that work mode.
If it's decaf, it's fine.
There's coffee and tea available as well.
Okay. Now, so that's Mindful Mondays, and you start at 9. You're open an hour earlier because your normal hours are 10 to 5.
Yes.
Okay, so you open at 9. This is only on Monday.
This is on Monday, but
okay.
We're very flexible. We're always there from 8:30 ourselves. The offices are open at that time. So if someone wanted to come a little early and they couldn't do it on Monday, they can come and see us, and I'm sure we can make that happen.
Is this additional work for you, I'm sure?
So we've tried to design the program around ways of really just looking at rethinking how we use the space. We've always approached it from a sort of multifunctional angle because we have to raise a lot of our own funds every year. We're only part government funded. So we use the space for conferences and weddings, special events. So we've always envisioned how we can be flexible. But we've forgotten that we have these beautiful gardens. It's like having a park at the gallery with so many native plants. We're working with a wonderful woman, Hannah Reid, Bush Girl Medicine.
I know Hannah.
Yes, of course. Everyone knows Hannah.
Oh, yeah.
To develop a nature trail in the gardens as well. So there's different ways of just rethinking what we already have available, but making it a bit more accessible to everybody. So the Mindful Mondays, we have a wonderful education intern, Laurie Peterson, who's usually in her office inside the gallery by 9 o'clock anyway. And we felt, why not open early?
So if I have any questions while I'm there, there's somebody who can answer those.
There is, yes.
Okay.
We never leave the galleries unattended because, of course, we are custodians of this incredible national art collection. So there's always someone on site.
So the building, you have 2 stories.
We have 2 stories in building 1, which is where the collection is, and also the temporary exhibitions and our gift shop. And then the second building is our wonderful education space with the Susan Oldie Art Studio, the Maples Library, our administration offices, and our Dart Auditorium, which serves now as a third gallery space because we've run out of room for our exhibitions. There's so much art to show.
Do you have space on the property in case you need another building?
We do. We actually have another acre that we haven't developed, and the original plans that Danny Owen from OA&D Architecture designed actually have 2 more buildings, specialized collection storage space and a research facility, and artist studio spaces and more school spaces.
Going back in time, Natalie, where was your first, where was the gallery located? The very, very first?
The very first one was in Alexandria Place
in
Industrial Park. Do you remember? And 1997 was the first exhibition.
1997. Susan, can you remember that? No, Susan says no. So before we take a break, Natalie, you just want to remind our listeners that we're speaking to you, Mrs. Natalie Urquhart, the director of the National Gallery of the Cayman Islands, NGCI, and she's here to inform the public, you, our listeners, and our viewers, to address tell us about a community initiative to address the mental health issues caused, of course, by COVID-19. Now, before we take that break, Natalie, let's talk about the Labyrinth Walk. We're curious to learn more about the Labyrinth Walks and what they are designed to achieve.
So a labyrinth, it's interesting, I had to learn a lot about this when we first installed it, and it was due to the very kind donation of Diane Sebens that we built the labyrinth back in 2012 when we first opened the gallery. And again, specifically to talk about wellness and mindfulness way back, so that's almost 10 years ago. And a labyrinth is actually designed as a meditative walk. It was used in early Christian cathedrals as an alternative for pilgrimage. So if you couldn't leave England to go to Jerusalem or France to go to Jerusalem on a significant pilgrimage, you could go to a cathedral like Chartres Cathedral is the design that we have at the National Gallery, and you could do this walk. And it was a form of pilgrimage and a form of meditation and sort of spiritual giving back. So the labyrinth is designed, there's no barriers in a labyrinth. It's the direct opposite of what a maze is designed as, even though they look quite similar. Right. A maze is designed to kind of block and confuse, whereas the labyrinth, there's only one trail. And you go back on yourself a lot, but it's designed to help you focus and be mindful. So it's a wonderful way of just, again, carving out some time, whether it's just for the time itself or the mindfulness, or whether you've got a question that you're trying to answer. It's a great way of doing that. And of course, that's in the garden, so it's open at any time to anyone.
How what's the length of it? Do you know?
It takes about 10 minutes, I think, to
10
do.
Minutes. Okay.
But again, it depends on your speed. So if you're walking very fast, I'm sure it could be less. But the idea is you can do it either all the way in and all the way out, which is a sort of 20-minute experience, or you can just go all the way around to the center and then just walk straight out. Something I should do more. It's on my doorstep at work. It's a great way, again, to start the morning. And yeah.
It happens.
Yeah, I know.
Natalie, we're going to take that quick break. When we come back, we'll take a look at your nature trail. Thanks to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Medical Supplies and Cayman Insurance Center.
2020. Unprecedented times, uncertainty, and literally a new way of life.
Life happens, usually without warning.
That is why making sure that your family is insured is so important.
Cayman Insurance Center, 47 years strong, working to protect your family and your most valuable assets.
Whether you need to get a quote, renew a policy, or file a claim, Cayman Insurance Center is here to protect you and your family.
For more information, call 949-4657. Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, health, motor, and other lines of insurance products and services at affordable rates.
Oh, Oh, gosh.
Don't let the stress of taking care of loved ones get you down.
Home care, now made easier with Cayman Medical Supplies. 100% Caymanian owned. Cayman Medical Supplies now stocks a wide range of home care supplies. Hospital beds, all types of wheelchairs, including beach access wheelchairs, lifts, commodes, shower chairs, walkers, Curad brand orthopedic supplies, free blood glucose monitors with the purchase of 1 pack of test strips, blue underpads, and a whole lot more.
Need home care convenience? Drop by Cayman Medical Supplies at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, or call 949-6211. Free delivery.
Open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Still delivering island-wide for your convenience.
Visit Healthcare Pharmacy's second location in Governor Square, servicing West Bay and the 7 Mile Beach Corridor with the care and professionalism you have come to expect from Healthcare Pharmacy. Healthcare Pharmacy in Governor Square also stocks a huge selection of Hallmark and shoebox greeting cards, vitamins, sunblock, last minute, and everyday needs. To refill and transfer your prescriptions, simply WhatsApp 329-7313 or visit healthcarepharmacy.ky or drop by Monday to Saturday from 9 till 6.
It's time again for the annual Meals on Wheels Orange You Glad Sunset Gala. So, break out your fancy orange outfit, find your little black dress, grab an orange bow tie, or simply show off your orange accessories. A night of elegance not to be missed on May 22nd at the historic Grand Old House, South Church Street. Enjoy cocktails, canopies, a 3-course meal, live and silent auctions, special guests, live entertainment by the John Gray Elite String Ensemble, and the talented Erica Asai. Dance the night away. Tickets are $200 per person, and tables for any size group can be reserved. Book your tables today by emailing info@mealsonwheels.ky or call 345-769-1974. Orange attire is encouraged. See you at sunset at the 8th annual Meals on Wheels Orange You Glad Sunset Gala. Sponsored by Dolphin Point Club, Ogier, McAlpine, Calderwood, Health City Cayman Islands, and media sponsor Breeze FM and Radio Cayman.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Welcome back to the Business Buzz. Good morning. We're very happy to have in our studio this morning Mrs. Natalie Urquhart. Natalie is a director at the National Gallery of the Cayman Islands, shortened form, NGCI. Natalie, we've covered Mindful Mondays, Labyrinth Walks. Now let's talk about the Nature Trail. Walk us through what the Nature Trail is all about and the benefits from that walk.
Well, you know, it's something you mentioned in the break about our online COVID photography exhibition. And I think we've worked so much with artists and photographers coming out of lockdown and really connecting to nature again. You know, I think one of the things when it was taken away from us in a way, or we were removed from access to nature, it's really highlighted how important that relationship is. And actually the UK Mental Health Foundation has highlighted nature as the theme of Mental Health Month this year in terms of really raising awareness about the healing benefits of nature in this time of stress and anxiety. Obviously, that's not news. We know that, you know, going for a walk in a natural environment always is uplifting. But it's never been more clear, I think, that connection is critical to our mental well-being. So we have this beautiful garden at the National Gallery, originally master planned by Margaret Barwick, who helped start the Botanic Park. Sandy Urquhart as well was part of the original team and created a beautiful space. Obviously a bit biased there, but it was quasi-wedding present to me, so I'm very, very grateful. And then we've worked more recently with the team at Cayman Bay as we've redeveloped the front of the site. So it's a spectacular celebration of native plants, obviously some ornamental tropicals from overseas as well. But it was very important to us that we really designed it with Caymanian endemic and indigenous plants. We had this idea way back to do a nature trail, and it was on our wish list. We hadn't really got around to it because we had so many other projects that we were rolling out, but it felt like a really good fit for this wellness program. So we're working with Hannah Reid from Bushgill Medicine. She's just been doing some actually tours at the gallery as part of an exhibition that we collaborated with the National Trust on called Homegrown. and is now working with us to develop a self-guided nature trail. So you'll be able to pick up the map of the gardens at our reception, again at no cost.
Okay.
And really just have a walk. And there's no need to actually use the nature trail. You can do the walk more organically and enjoy it on your own. But we wanted to offer a learning experience as well. So if you want to come and learn about some of these native plants and their purposes, we have this wonderful history of medicinal plants in Cayman, and learn about how we use these plants within our heritage. You can now do that too.
Oh yeah, lemongrass. Got some growing too in a pot.
Absolutely, absolutely. And again, I think we've never been more aware of the healing qualities of plants, both from an edible and medicinal standpoint, but just sitting outside and having those quiet moments. I don't know about you, but in lockdown, sitting and looking at the wind in the tree outside.
I had my breadfruit tree
in those days. I know.
And I took it down a few weeks ago. I was telling you about that, and I'm just having these moments where I'm just missing my tree.
Yeah.
And
I
they become a part of your life,
They do. And you take it for granted that you're around this sort of, this sense of growth and rebirth and life cycles. And I think we've never been more connected to that when it was removed from us. So, I've rediscovered the National Gallery Gardens since getting back to work, although it seems strange that we were back at work last July. So we've been, back in office for 10, 11 months. But rediscovering the garden, sitting outside and then just enjoying nature, it's incredibly healing.
So the garden, is it far away from the labyrinth?
No, the labyrinth is inside the gardens.
Oh,
so we
part
have
of
it is.
Okay.
We have the front gardens, which are this again plethora of plants that have been redesigned recently in collaboration with Cayman Bay when the roads were changed. And then the back garden is really where we spend most of our time. There's a wonderful lawn that you can come and put your picnic blanket down, have a family picnic. Even on Sunday when the site is closed, the garden is still open. The labyrinth is right in the middle of that. And of course, there are sculptures outside that you can enjoy as well.
And no tiny snakes.
No tiny snakes. We might have one. I think we've got one little resident snake, but he doesn't like people, so he lives in a rockery around the side. So okay. You're okay.
I'm good. No. Let's talk about yoga. Like you said earlier, Natalie, the gallery, this is a new initiative, yoga, and all this mindfulness that you have going on. Now, will there be any yoga, meditation, and mindfulness classes that
absolutely
we can be a part of?
So when we were thinking about this larger program, and it's really, there's sort of 8 different components, and we've talked about some of those that were already on the site.
Okay.
We wanted to make sure we were also activating this idea of wellness and offering workshops. So we've always offered kind of therapeutic art workshops. As you probably know, we worked for many, many years at Northwood and Fairbanks, Caribbean Haven, looking at ways that we can use art in therapeutic means. And we've seen firsthand the power of art in a healing capacity. So we've done workshops for many years in that sense, and we're continuing to do various pop-up art workshops that range from our youth all the way through to our adults and seniors. But we wanted to kind of, again, add on to that in a physical wellness sense. So yoga was a natural fit. We've actually done yoga in the gardens before in the last sort of decade. Obviously, the yoga community use the labyrinth as well for meditation walks. So it's really just a kind of more formalized framework for offering yoga on a regular basis. So we're working with the wonderful Janine Martins, Jerry Bevell, Mirabel D'Acunha for meditation. So we're working with different wellness practitioners that are very well respected in Cayman to allow for yoga workshops every other week. And then every second week, there's a mindful meditation workshop. Okay. And these are all drop-ins. So you can sign up and pre-register. And some of the classes are very, very popular. So it is worthwhile checking out the registration if you definitely want to space.
Are these beginner classes?
Sorry?
Are they beginner classes?
They are. Janine's classes are beginner, intermediate. Okay. So I think you can drop in at either level. The meditation, of course, there's no pre-skills needed for that. But it's incredibly rewarding to participate in one of these classes. So again, these are available at no cost to the community. Sometimes we do the work outside in the gardens if it's cool enough, and sometimes inside the gallery spaces. So you're either surrounded by plant life or art. It's a very great place to do it in.
Okay, your opening hours are 10 to 5. Is the garden accessible after 5?
It is, yes, absolutely. So the site is closed, so things like the restrooms and water aren't accessible. But the site is not locked off in any way. We just ask people that obviously if they're coming after hours to be careful, because we don't have any staff members helping navigate the space.
Okay. Now, virtual yoga. How do you offer virtual yoga as well?
Well, it was one of the conversations that we had, and I've been working on this program with our amazing education manager, Maya Mutu, was to make sure that the commitment that we'd made to producing digital content in lockdown, and we had an enormous digital program in lockdown, from virtual tours of the gallery to exhibitions, artist talks, school worksheets online, and special exhibitions. We wanted to continue offering a virtual program now going forward, because the uptake was remarkable, and we've really opened up to new audiences in Cayman and internationally as well. So with that, we wanted to make sure that the mindfulness was not just on site, but say you're back in lockdown somewhere else, or you're in quarantine. That was a really key thing for us. We know a lot of people are coming back to Cayman and they're having to quarantine. So we wanted to give them access to these programs as well. So they can do an online session with Janine Martins, or they can do a wonderful meditation class with Mirabelle, both through our website. And we wanted to make sure that we were really pushing wellness forward, not just as an add-on, but as a central component to the gallery. So there's a whole section, new section on our website that explains how to access all of these different things and has links to the online component as well.
So if I go off island and come back, I'm in lockdown, in quarantine for 14 days, because I don't have the vaccine, so I can log on and...
Absolutely.
Is it via Zoom?
It's pre-recorded, so
pre-recorded.
Yes,
Okay.
You could just get the link now from YouTube, I believe.
Okay.
And of course, if you are in quarantine, on that note, go and do a gallery walkthrough tour. We're just about to upload our latest exhibition that we took down, the Horacio Esteban show. If you missed it, and no one should have missed it because it was amazing, but now you can go online in the next couple of weeks, and you can actually walk through the whole gallery as though you were inside the space.
It's a virtual tour?
It's a virtual tour.
Okay.
So that will be the 6th tour that we have online. So there's already a lot of different gallery experiences. We also in lockdown uploaded 200 artworks from our National Art Collection. So there's wonderful things to do on the site if you're in quarantine.
It's a virtual archive sort of thing.
It's exactly what it is. We didn't have anywhere that art was archived in Cayman, and we were able to build that in lockdown.
Natalie, we've got to take another break. We've got to make some money here. You're listening to the Business Buzz. Thank you so much to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Medical Supplies and Cayman Insurance Center. When we come back, Natalie, we'll take a look at what COVID-19 has done globally and locally for art and artwork, artists. Oh gosh.
Don't let the stress of taking care of loved ones get you down.
Home care, now made easier with Cayman Medical Supplies. 100% Caymanian owned. Cayman Medical Supplies now stocks a wide range of home care supplies. Hospital beds, all types of wheelchairs, including beach access wheelchairs, lifts, commodes, shower chairs, walkers, Curad brand orthopedic supplies. Free blood glucose monitors with the purchase of 1 pack of test strips, blue underpads, and a whole lot more.
Need home care convenience? Drop by Cayman Medical Supplies at 93 Smith Road, Windward Center, or call 949-6211. Free delivery.
Open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Still delivering island-wide for your convenience.
2020. Unprecedented times, uncertainty, and literally a new way of life.
Life happens, usually without warning.
That is why making sure that your family is insured is so important.
Cayman Insurance Center, 47 years strong, working to protect your family and your most valuable assets.
Whether you need to get a quote, renew a policy, or file a claim, Cayman Insurance Center is here to protect you and your family.
For more information, call 949-4657. Cayman Insurance Center, specializing in property, life, health, motor, and other lines of insurance products and services at affordable rates.
That thing we've been saying for 64 years, ignore it. Eat the KFC wings, drink the KFC gravy, fill up on fries. Just please forget the thing we normally suggest. You know, that thing you used to do with your tongue after finishing a delicious piece of our KFC chicken. We get it. It's not easy. There's a reason why it's been our slogan for over half a century. But the world's drastically changed of late, and as soon as we can embrace the change, the sooner we can all get back to doing what we do best. KFC. It's good.
Work Jobs Cayman has a new look. Registered users can now experience a more user-friendly platform, allowing for easier registration and posting of job ads. To see and experience the new look today, visit www.work.ky. That's WORC.ky.
Business Buzz. Business Buzz with your host, Anita Khan.
Good morning and welcome back to the Business Buzz. In the studio this morning we have Mrs. Natalie Urquhart. Natalie is the director of the National Gallery of the Cayman Islands. Good morning again, Natalie.
Good morning again.
Glad you didn't leave me.
I'm still here. Lots more to talk about, right?
Lots more. We need another maybe 45 minutes, okay? Susan laughed. Okay, Natalie, globally COVID-19 has seen the arts emerge as an essential contributor to overall well-being. But take us back to last year's island-wide lockdown, which we don't want to remember, some of us, and share how the National Gallery of the Cayman Islands and local artists pivoted during that time.
Well, and it's funny that word pivoted. I think is we've used it a lot recently, but it's exactly what happened. I mean, you literally had a week to rethink your entire way of accessing art for the community. Think about, as a museum, we rely very heavily on people visiting the space, coming to see the artwork. That is really has been fundamentally how we do our school tour program, how we offer our workshops, and we had a very small window to make sure that we were still providing those essential services. And I'm so grateful to work with such a great team at the National Gallery. We were able to provide a pretty comprehensive program within about 7 days of going into lockdown. And one of the reasons we were able to do that is because we were already planning and experimenting with sort of online learning and online experiences for our sister islands communities. We feel very strongly that the National Gallery is, obviously, in theory, it's for the whole country, but it's been problematic that we're on one site in Grand Cayman wanting to ensure that the sister islands have the same kind of access to the arts and exhibition experiences. And we're very proud to work with two organisations, one in Cayman Brac, one in Little Cayman now, permanently to travel National Gallery exhibitions to both spaces and have done for a couple of years, but also making sure that there was access remotely. So we had a few things that we'd been experimenting with, like these virtual walkthrough exhibitions, but we were able to get about 4 of those up immediately. And our education team, Patty, Maya and Laurie, started creating virtual learning worksheets for all of our after-school clubs, for our school sector. We can even do curator tours of those virtual exhibitions, so you can sit in a classroom now and have a curator guide you through an exhibition online. It's pretty sophisticated stuff, and actually we were very honoured to be recognised in lockdown as one of the top virtual exhibition tours globally, alongside places like the Louvre in Paris, the Metropolitan Museum in New York, the Tate in London.
You should be shouting about that.
It's pretty exciting. We were the only Caribbean museum to be recognised in that way. So, really encourage people to go on. That's evergreen content now. It will stay online. And again, it's free to anyone. There's no sort of member passcode or anything like that. But that was just one component. We wanted to make sure we were sort of raising awareness about artists and their status in lockdown, because it's been very, very challenging for the art community in the last 12 months, losing, a lot of revenue from tourism sales in the same way that our hospitality sector has been really struggling and being incredibly innovative at the same time. So we did artist talks, and we heard from artists directly from their studios talking about their practice. I mentioned uploading this virtual archive for the first time of the collection. So now we have the most comprehensive archive of Caymanian art anywhere, ever. So if you want to know anything about the history of Caymanian art, please get on our website. And then, of course, it was very important to us to support the art community many of us spent lockdown relearning or learning new skills or learning languages or, trying to do those things that we had on our to-do list for a very long time. So we relaunched our Business of Art program online, which is a professional development series of webinars for, I would say, the creative community, not just artists, visual artists, about portfolio development, about business planning, social media, marketing, and that's an ongoing program. So you can jump on the website. Again, there are pre-recorded sessions that are up there, but also new sessions every month. So it's really an art skill development program to support artists.
I love your website. What's your website address again?
It's nationalgallery.org.ky.
Now, Natalie, a lot of us had to work. We were essential workers, so we missed out on all the art and all the... Right, Susan? Yeah, but you know what? We're happy that other residents were able to have that sort of enjoyment, rather than think about it as a lockdown. It's a time to be creative.
Well, I think you're right in that talking about pivoting, we feel at the National Gallery that we are essential workers. The whole team worked full time to ensure that there was constant content being produced. There was content from all over the world that, it was almost an overload sometimes.
Sounds like you were working 24/7.
Well, it felt like that. But we wanted to produce local content. So it's one thing to be able to go and listen to an opera at the Met or go to a natural history museum and see dinosaurs in New York online. But we wanted to make sure you could get the same experiences with Caymanian producers and support the creative community in doing so. So it was a very intense time. We feel that we might have missed sometimes that sort of moment of quiet, but I think I can't shout out enough to the National Gallery team for all that was produced in lockdown. And again, that now will exist permanently online, so you haven't missed it. It's all still there, and we do want to continue that commitment to digital content and on-site content.
I want to say thank you too, because you guys have done an amazing job.
Thank you.
Amazing. Now, as we gear up for the world to return to a new normal, Natalie, the healing power of art has never been more important, and we've seen that. What challenges do you think are still ahead for the arts, and how responsive will the gallery be in offering free programming that supports countrywide wellness? You're on the right track right now.
Absolutely. And I think one of the things that we saw, which was so uplifting in lockdown, was the Art Under Lockdown exhibition that we did with 87 local artists. Everyone that submitted was, and then we did the photography one as well. So there are two really wonderful responses. And I think when we talk about the healing power of art,
that's photography, and what was the other one?
The Art Under Lockdown. So there's two.
Right,
the COVID photography exhibition we did in collaboration with the Cayman Islands government, and that is called 2020 Vision, which I love. That's such a great title that was created by our assistant curator, Paige Jordison. And that is a photography exhibition, but that also is an art exhibition that we did earlier in June of last year with 87 local artists ranging from 12-year-olds to 80-year-olds. And I think that really, talking about the healing power of art, puts it front and center. Each one of these people were creating that. Some of them were new artists that had never picked up a paintbrush. Some were our most famous artists that were using art as a form of therapeutic outlet. And, really that has been very central to the National Gallery's mission for so many years with the outreach programs that I mentioned earlier on. But we'll continue to do that. We're offering more and more classes now coming out of the pandemic, from teens working with organisations like the Alex Panton Foundation and their amazing youth ambassadors. We do Saturday workshops with that group. We have adult workshops. We have our after-school clubs that are free. We have 100 students come every week after school through our Walker's Art Club program. So there's lots of different ways of engaging in creating art. And then, of course, we have a wonderful exhibition schedule where you can come and see art that people have created in response to the pandemic. And the biennial project that we're currently featuring is a really great example of that.
How many do you have on staff, Natalie?
We have 7 staff members and 1 intern. So it's a pretty small team. We have, for teaching, we have a wonderful group of instructors as well, outside of that core team. But everyone does really work very hard down there to
I
create
could tell
this
you with a
program.
staff of 7 doing all of that. You need at least 10 more people on staff, Natalie.
Well, we're very grateful to our volunteers as well. We have a very dedicated volunteer corps.
Can anyone volunteer or?
They can, and we have volunteer opportunities for teens as well. So there's really, for teens all the way up, any age group, any background. I always say to young people that, we need accountants and lawyers and marketing people to help run a museum. So whatever your skill set, I'm sure we can work with you.
What's the contact details for the gallery?
So the phone number is 9458111. The website, as I mentioned, is nationalgallery.org.ky. And the emails are just, that's the email name as well. So events at National Gallery or info at National Gallery. But jump on the website and we have different contact details for different departments as well.
Now you have NGCI, you have a long-term commitment for helping at-risk groups in the community throughout the healing powers of art. And what are some of the entities you work with?
So we've been running what we call our our Art Haven program for a very long time. Okay. Caribbean Haven is actually part of that project, probably for about 15 years at this stage. So we do weekly programs with Northwood and Fairbanks, Bonaventure Boys Home, and monthly programs with Caribbean Haven. That's the Art Haven program, and that's a very, very important part of our outreach program. But outreach, of course, means getting out into the community. So that means not just organizations that can't come to the site, but, meeting people in their spaces, going out into the districts and working with different community groups. A really important group for us is our seniors program. And actually, with the biennial launch that we did, biennial opened at the end of April, and one of the first tours that we had in were our Georgetown seniors, and we had a fantastic tea party and tour afternoon with that organization. So we really, when we talk about outreach, it's finding ways of connecting to the community, and we're always open to new ideas as well. So if you're a community group and you are interested in connecting, either coming to the site or having us come to you to do an art program, please give us a call and let's see how we can work together.
Before we let you go, Natalie, I know you have your annual fundraising events to raise funds for the gallery, even though you're subsidized by the government. Can someone just donate funds?
Thank you for that question. Absolutely. And, we are so grateful
Money's always good.
For all of the corporate support that we get. We work very hard on our fundraising component because we have about 40% to raise every year. And that's before any special projects like the wellness program. So you can donate directly to the gallery, either through the website or come in and talk to us about which component you'd like to donate to, children's education, the collection, etc. If you're interested in joining any of our larger fundraising events, the information is online. But again, you can come and talk to us. Email events with an S at nationalgallery.org.ky. And membership, of course, is a very simple, cost-effective way to support the organisation and our work. And again, you can just come in and talk to us about how to become a member.
Natalie, thank you so much for stopping by the studio this morning. We wish you well with all the ongoing programs at the gallery. And we look forward to more great things coming out from National Gallery. Thank you
so much for having us. It's always great to be here and always a lot to talk about.
And I know you have lots more to talk about, so we'll have you back sometime soon. I want to say thank you to our sponsors this morning, Cayman Medical Supplies, Cayman and Cayman Insurance Center. Thanks to our producer, Miss Susan Watson, and welcome back again, Susan. Thanks to our listeners and our viewers. We'll see you again on Tuesday, God's willing, for another Business Buzz. In the meantime, please stay safe and enjoy the rest of the day.
The Business Buzz is proudly sponsored by Cayman Medical Supplies. Call them at 949-6211. Cayman Insurance Center, celebrating 45 years in the Cayman Islands, specializing in property, life, and other lines of insurance products and services. And Digicel Business. Get everything your business needs in one package